There are several key attributes to a prosperous database that we look to achieve: accuracy, completeness, consistency, cost, security, and sustainability. That's a tough one, sorry. Those double S's. And they're all equally as important. So how do we ensure data quality? We do that through a couple different ways. First, data hygiene, keeping records clean, formatted, deduped, and up to date. Email hygiene, used to increase email deliverability. And data appends, which allows us to add data to a record for targeting and analysis purposes. So let's take a deeper dive into a couple of those, starting with data hygiene. There are two main ways to maintain cleanliness of your data. They're merge purge and data refresh. Merge purge utilizes partners to merge records for one or more multiple data sources to eliminate duplicate records. The result is one unique record containing all of the valuable data. So if you look at the example on the left-hand side here, obviously you can see that there is massive duplication happening in this example. And it may seem a little bit extreme, but when you have different people in different departments entering in the data, it's really easy for this to happen, and it's really not that uncommon. Data refresh is key in keeping records current, and this typically includes adding new records that come into your target market, changing or updating different fields, including email or title fields, and also deleting records that are no longer valid. Email hygiene. So what exactly is email hygiene? It's defined as the process of verifying or removing invalid email addresses from an email list. There are a number of reasons why you would want to do this. The first, and probably most obvious one, is that it increases your deliverability. So when you run a list through email hygiene, you're going to get a file back that's coded with different deliverability codes. Those would say, yes, this is deliverable, no, it's not, or this is spam, or I'm really not sure. And obviously that's not what your file is going to be coded as, but that's generally what it's going to say. So when you select only the records that are deliverable, you're getting more records into the inbox, which in the long run is going to save you money by reducing the waste. So if you're paying CPMs on your email deliverability, on your email deployments, the more you deploy that aren't getting delivered, the more money you're wasting. Increased conversion rates. When you increase deliverability, you're reaching more prospects, which will give you a higher conversion rate. And last but definitely not least is an increased email return on investment. So this sounds pretty simple, right? Higher conversion rates with lower cost obviously will give you a higher return on investment.
So here I just want to enter in a real quick shameless plug for LSC Digital. But it's really, I can't stress it enough, especially companies who either have a list that's just kind of been sitting, and you do have to remember that email lists have an expiration date and have attrition. So on average, an email database about over the course of a year can lose about 25% of its accuracy, because people change jobs, people move, people close down email addresses, all that fun stuff. And I've seen that time and time again where somebody will have a list of 200,000 opt-in emails and let it sit for 6 months, go to send it, and they have a gazillion hard bounces and inaccurate data.
Creating all kinds of other problems.
Creating all types of other problems. And then also, too, people purchasing data and, different data sources, things like that. And we have a very inexpensive email verification service here where a client can give us their list. It could be 100,000, 200,000, 400,000, wherever it comes from. We automatically do it for anything we send out for our clients, but we do offer that, and it's really fractions of pennies per email. And time again, when we do this verification, we find 5, 10, 15, 25. We've even found lists that were supposedly already verified from somebody else where 50% of the list was just junk, and that would have been a disaster for the client. And really, for an investment of hundreds of dollars, clients are saving themselves a lot of headaches, really improving the ROI on their data. So if you need some help with that verification of email, if you have a huge list that's just kind of sitting and you're like, I don't know if we want to send these out through our systems, we do have an email verification solution over here, very price conscious and great ROI for a client. Okay, thank you.
So next up is data appends. What exactly is a data append? Data append is taking known customer data, first name, last name, postal address, and matching it against a database to obtain new information. There are several types of data appends. First, demographic and firmographic appends, where we append a variable to a customer file. On the consumer side, demographic variables that you could append would be things like age, household income, home ownership, presence of children, behavioral or interest variables, a whole slew of different information to allow you to gain more information on your customers. On the B2B side, some firmographics that you could append would be employee size, sales volume, location type, and many more. Email appends utilizes a postal address to provide customers with an email address. So that's pretty basic to understand. But an example here would be that if you have a customer database with a postal address, and let's say you wanted to run some digital campaigns. So you would take your postal file, run it through an email append, get as many email addresses as you could, and then utilize those to either run an email campaign, or you could also upload them to Facebook, utilizing the custom audiences or other opportunities with display and banner ads. The reverse append is exactly what it sounds like, the reverse of that. So you use an email address to provide customers with a postal address. So let's say that you had collected emails maybe from a lead generation program and you only got email and first name. So now you want to market these people through postal mail and to follow up and hit them up through multiple channels. So you would take your email address list, you would run it through a reverse append, and you would glean as many postal addresses that you could to then send them a direct mail campaign. With all of these appends, the match rate can really vary. It's generally, the range I would say is 30 to 50%. It really depends on the quality of the data that you're putting into the append or through the process. I have seen appends come out a lot higher at 70, 75, 80%. And I've also seen them come out a lot lower at 7, 10%.